There we go.
So yeah, this one was pretty tricky.
Okay. All right. Are we
So
all?
yeah.
Alexandra, can you hear
Oh,
us?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So what it wants, they want you to have a checkbox here that first opens up a dialog that asks, do you want to format all of the data? If you hit yes, it wants an input box for you to put the month. And then it'll format all of the data with the month at the top. And then when you uncheck it, it needs to go back to normal. And the other option is if you hit no, it needs to remain unchecked and the data can't be changed.
Wow.
So it's mostly just following the steps from the last assignment, except for unchecking the box if you hit no. That took me forever to figure out. So
Uncheck the box.
Yeah, so if you put if you have your code doing something wrong, it'll actually stay checked, and it says specifically that it wants the box to uncheck itself when you hit no.
So how do you do that?
Let me open it up. So it was something about the placement of one of these options. Okay, so you've got the cell here that says true or false. And if you set that to true, like manually, or if you set it to false manually, it will also affect the checkbox. But you have to place it in the right spot in your code.
Oh, so if you say to change that to true, or if you change that to false manually in the code.
Right. It's got to be, but it has to be in the right spot. So my code basically says check J4. If it says true, then I want to open up the first message box. Are you sure you want to format the data? Give a yes, no option. And then if they click yes, it'll open up the input box. Which month is this data for? And then it will call the one of my other macros to format everything. If they
all before.
Wow.
Yeah, but then so else if they say no, this is where you have to put it. Because you've got two, you have to think about it like a nested if statement. So you've got your first if statement here, and then it starts the second if statement with regards to the yes, no. So you need to make sure that it changes the value to false in the nested if statement with regards to yes and no. You don't want to put it on the outside for the first if.
So did you do that separately? You formatted the report separately?
Yeah, so I actually formatted the report first and recorded that whole macro. Because you want to make sure that your checkbox even fits on the screen. So I had all of that formatted. Then you have to record yourself removing all the formatting in a separate macro. So pretty much just you'll highlight everything and hit clear formats. and then make sure all of these go back to having 3 decimals.
Oh.
And you'll also want to resize all of the columns. They should be 60 pixels for the columns, and they're 20 pixels for the rows.
60 pixels? Is that what those are? Oh.
Yeah, so you can see my
50.
Yeah, you can see my markers there.
Okay.
So just make sure you record all of that and it'll go back to normal.
Okay. All right, that shouldn't be too hard after hearing your explanation.
Yeah.
All your hard work.
Yeah, your hard work is paying off for us.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, we'll have to try it, and then if we have any issues, we'll have to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So yours is like done. It should look like that, right? At the end.
Right. Yeah, they want it. And that was the other thing that I had to like triple check to make sure they didn't want like a dashboard or anything. They just want it to look good at the end of this.
Gotcha. Nice.
And that's not supposed to change. That just changes the title, right?
Right.
It's not changing any of the data.
Right. So also make sure you add when you uncheck it that it gets rid of the title. And it also turns on the grid lines.
Oh. Okay.
So that's just if you when you record your macro, if you include or if you make sure that whatever this is, it just gets sent to here first. So it gets sent to B3, and then when it activates the format macro, just have that one merge all of these together and then resize the text.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a matter of deciding which order things get done.
Yeah.
So you can see it'll paste my input and then it calls the format report macro. So it's pretty much just let me run it without the checkbox. So it's pretty much doing this. So the checkbox just did that. You know, it just put the name here. And then my macro format report does all of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I lost internet connection.
Oh, you're fine.
All right. I feel like I'm probably going to have to talk to you again once I'm
In the moment.
doing it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's as long as you know where to put that checkbox, I think you'll be okay. It's like I said, most of up until that point, it was just kind of following the same steps we did in the assignment.
Okay. Awesome.
Our last one!
Oh my god,
Woo!
I can't believe it.
Feels so good.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
If Excel workbooks were in actual paper form, I'd go burn them next week.
I know. Except for they're super cool, so I'd probably keep them because I think they're fun. But
Yeah, they are fun. Ask me next week if
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Tyler, for that. That was very helpful.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Good
That
luck.
was awesome.
Yes, you guys too.
All right, guys. I'll send you
Yep.
guys the link.
Save frequently.
Thanks, you guys.
Happy holidays.
You too.
And a happy
Bye.
new year.
Yeah.